For the first time in 7 years, the Washington Capitals have advanced a round in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's the Great Eight who continues his victory lap after breaking Gretzky's record. Him and the Capitals take apart the Montreal Canadiens 4-1. But before we give all the praise to the Washington Capitals, we can't downplay how great the Montreal Canadiens played for a young, inexperienced playoff team here. They got a valuable lesson from the veterans in Washington, and the future is very bright for Montreal. Likely one of the best young teams up and coming in the East. And as some of these older teams in the East age out, Tampa Bay, Washington, etc., over the next few years, Montreal looks to fill the void. Back to Washington. Washington is not done yet, though. This is a team that was second place in the NHL in points, and they showed it in this series. They wore down Montreal with hits. They slowed the game down to their pace. They dragged Montreal into deep waters, and they could not stop Alexander Ovechkin. Now, to be fair, no one can stop Ovechkin. That's why he's the NHL's greatest goal scorer. This first goal came off a power play, and the Carolina Hurricanes better be ready for this. There really isn't an answer. At some point, you just have to accept that Ovechkin's going to score, but you need to keep that puck off his stick. Bang! Rips that one by. And that's going to be the first key to Washington. How do they find and get Alexander Ovechkin involved against the defensive prowess of the Carolina Hurricanes? The Carolina Hurricanes are one of the best teams in the NHL at team defense, but we've seen it in these playoffs. The Los Angeles Kings, excellent at team defense, starting to get dismantled by Edmonton. Winnipeg, excellent at team defense. They're on the ropes a little bit there with St. Louis. Defensive teams have vulnerabilities from offensive teams because offense, frankly, wins in the NHL, and it's finishing that wins in the NHL. The Carolina Hurricanes play a very similar style offensively to the Montreal Canadiens, though, and we have seen that be exploited, for better or not, against the Capitals. And the Canes may be the biggest test yet for Washington this season. But what the Canes don't have is big number 80 Pierre-Luc Dubois and 43 Tom Wilson. Dubois comes in, quick little heavy shot, puck redirected, no problem by Dubois. And this is going to be the X factor in the series, and it was the X factor in the series here against Montreal. It's big Tom Wilson picking it up off the wall, cycling it back down to Dubois, and it's Dubois changing that angle, stepping out, and finding Jacob Chychrun here in the slot. Chychrun sneaks in the back door. Dubois, no chance. And to me, we've seen this be the X factor through all of the playoffs. Physicality, hard-hitting plays, sometimes dirty plays, and I say that as a compliment because that is what it takes to win a Stanley Cup, and the Washington Capitals know this. So when you have the two massive bodies, that is Dubois and Wilson, and they can score, which is really scary. They're not just physical. They can beat you on the scoreboard, draw you into a penalty box, get you to retaliate, and then go score on you on a power play. That's how deadly these guys are for Washington, and it'll be interesting to see how the Carolina Hurricanes handle that heading into the next series. And speaking of X factors, you got to think of Logan Thompson. Fantastic goaltender. Likely the best goaltender going into the next series as well, too. Freddie Anderson been a little bit shaky. It's been known to be shaky. Can also steal a game. When you have the defensive unit in front of him, like Carolina does, that could pose a challenge here for Washington. But Logan Thompson has been just on fire. Thompson's ability to read and react, even through multiple shots. I mean, this is an unbelievable play here. And just look how deep he gets into his crease. A lot of people criticize when goalies get this deep, but he has to get this deep because it is a much shorter angle to cover when you know a pass is coming. If you're playing out here, you have to cover a much wider angle to make that leg push, and you have to assume the pass at this point. You got to pick pass or shot. He does. He picks pass, and because of his ability to read and react and play that deep in his crease, it's a massive save. And he's going to need to make a lot of those. Carolina is going to have, at times, a shooting gallery on you. These guys shoot from everywhere, and they can produce 40 to 50 shots in a game. That will be something Montreal didn't do to Washington, and that will be a change. Montreal sets up for the best shot. Carolina takes any shot. So I'm interested to see how that handles with Logan Thomas. But because this is such a veteran team, I think they'll be calm, cool, and collected heading into that second round. So congratulations to the Washington Capitals for knocking them off. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do as they go forward. Nice. See you in round 2.